Hey there. Let's see. I'm trying to live stream and we are having a few technical difficulties, of course, even though I practiced. But let me grab this new video link and I'm going to send it out to you all. Let's see here. How do I find it? Hey there. Let's see. I'm trying to live stream and we are having a few technical difficulties, of course, even though I practiced. But let me grab this new video link and I'm going to send it out to you all. And it's going to be duplicating. Hold on one second. Let's see, I'm trying to live stream and we are having a few technical difficulties, of course, even though I practiced. But let me grab this new video link and I'm going to be duplicating. Hold on one second. All right. Well, I know this is live streaming. I can see it, but I know I'm going to have to send out the link to a couple of you who registered because, of course, I've tried to connect Zoom with what's going on here. Here we go. I know we're live, so that's good. So let me, if you'll give me just one second, I'm going to copy this link over and send that out to our people who registered to watch our video today. And we're going to get started really quickly. So I'm really artsy, but apparently I'm not very techy, unfortunately. So, and also I can kind of see what's going on. If you guys want to chat in the chat box while we're waiting, just let me know where you're from, where you're calling from, and I'm going to just shoot this out really quick to a couple people on email so they know exactly what's going on. Let's see, one second. It's really hard. I practiced and practiced today because I knew the tech part. This is my first live on YouTube. And so the first time's always bumpy, which is really a great lesson for those of you who are thinking of starting a paint party business, because this is how you have to think on your feet when you are trying something new. And let me go back one second here. There we go. I just want to help people get here if they cannot get here, unfortunately, because of technology. So here we go. All right. Well, hopefully some people get that link now. We're probably going to get some people are going to be like, this is spammy, but that's okay. The people who really want to see it are going to be on here. So anyhow, I should be able to see your chat. I can see myself here on live YouTube, so I know that I'm here, and I'm so excited for you to join us live. So as I said, we're trying this whole YouTube thing. I mean, YouTube's been out forever and ever. I've been in the paint party industry for like 14 years now, and marketing is always changing. And so we have to be able to adapt to that and learn more about that. But I'm so excited just because I have not done a lot of live videos about paint parties, but starting this year for the new year, we're going to be doing a lot more information here on YouTube. So you're going to want to subscribe. So what we're going to do now is I'm actually going to just tell you a little bit more about myself. I watch a lot of trainings myself. And so I'm modeling what I would like done off of that. And I like images and graphics. I can just sit here and talk to you forever and ever. You guys can see my cute background that I've made. I just got this new office. I just moved. And so I've been having fun decorating my office with all my artwork. And so I can't wait as we progress on this journey, just learning more about paint parties, learning more about my career in paint parties and industry, and also just learning more about you and maybe why you're here on this call or why you're watching this recorded video. All right, so we're just going to get started. I like graphics, so let's see here. Give me one second here because I'm going to share screen two. All right, we're going to work on being more techie. coming up in the new year. All right, so welcome to, I'm Maria Borrego, and I am an artsy coach and founder of Gallery on the Go, founder of Artsy, and I also have my own paint party business called Artsy with Maria. And so you can find me all over the place on Instagram, mostly Instagram. We're trying a little bit more of TikTok here on YouTube. I have a long story to tell you about Facebook and our Facebook being hacked and all of that. But that's kind of how we've gotten to this road here on YouTube. So I'm really excited about that. All right, so let's get going. Let me make sure we can see what's going on here. Oh, there we are. Yes. Okay, good. I'm just still making sure we can see ourselves on YouTube. All right. So the reason I'm so excited, I'm just wrapping up my December and my paint party career. I'm a part-time paint party person, by the way. I do not do this business full-time. I started doing this business 14 years ago because my sons were in middle school. I have a long reason of why I did this, but I want to tell you more about starting your own paint party business. But here I am 14 years later, and December is always my busiest month. And this December was no different, except I had to turn away parties because I simply didn't have the time to do it. But I wanted to show you kind of my scrapbook of my 6 parties that I had here in December and kind of keep you interested in why you might think about starting your own paint party business. I just typed this up today, this December parties. There's 6 parties here that I did this year. Like these were the customers that I served, not this year, this month in December. And I did a marriage conference. I did a North Pole event for some foster families. I did a golf course event. I did a 55 plus community event. I did a funeral company of people who work for a funeral. I did their Christmas party. And then I did my last party was just this past Friday. And it was a woman's birthday that her best friend bought a birthday party for her, a paint party. And so total revenue was $4,520. And these are my actual figures. This does not have my expenses, of course, so you could probably guess, about $800 in expenses because I did pay for help at 2 of the events. But still, that's pretty great, right? For a part-time business. And so I just wanted to share with you some of these videos that I have here of these events that I had. So this is the marriage conference, the video that you see going right now. And this video right here is, it's 120 people, so 60 couples come. Now I do charge quite a bit for that. They make the same project every single time. And I have done that event for over 5 years now. It's at the same hotel. It's the same process and procedures. It's every other month. It's guaranteed income. I know my cost. I don't have to learn a new project for it. I do hire some help for it. But other than that, it's a really great event. And then this Grinch event was super fun. This is where I did a pop-up, which is new. If you've been in the paint party world, if you've been looking at paint parties, something that's different that I do are called artsy pop-ups. And so that's where I bring smaller projects. And so that's what I did at both of these 2 events on the list here. I did what I call an artsy pop-up. The Grinch is super popular. And so I order these stickers on Amazon. The green fur that you see here playing on the video, I order from Amazon. And I kind of just, how many ways can you make a Grinch, right? And the whole theme of that event was a Grinch party. You can kind of see the picture here. It was like an older couple, it's like a grandparent community and they bring their grandkids. Other events that I did were this golf course. So this golf course has me come out. They usually have about 15 to 20 participants. They did a board party, which you can see here. And then the funeral home down bottom right corner, almost 30 people at that event, also painted on boards. And then my last party, which was just on Friday, they painted on boards, which was a woman's birthday party. And so they had kids there. It was like a mixed kid and adult event. Now, if you like these boards, I'm going to be doing a live video here in about 3 weeks. I think I was on my schedule, where I'm going to teach you all about how to do board parties and how that is a great way to kickstart your business if you're looking to start your business affordably without buying a lot of supplies. I love board parties. They're like a sure hit. You can charge anywhere from $30 to $45 depending on the area that you live. There's stencils. It's pretty low key. You're more of a server in that kind of case. So yeah, so that was my December. And that's why I'm so passionate about continuing to teach people how to start their own paint party business. I've really been a little bit discouraged, I guess, in the sense that I had so many parties I had to turn down. And I don't have as many representatives here where I live to be able to give those parties over to. So yeah, so you need to, if depending on your area, if you want to go look at the galleryonthego.com website, you can see we have guides all over the place, and check out where you live and see if anybody's doing paint parties in your area, because it's popular and we don't want to be turning parties down. So that is a little bit more about my December and why I'm super passionate. And the other thing I'm going to tell you is all of this business is like word of mouth from that Gallery on the Go website, or my repeat clientele. And so, of course, I've been doing this for 14 years, but it all started with one party, two parties. And actually, next week, I'm going to do a live video. Not next week, Tuesday. So I know it's Sunday night. It's so weird. But Tuesday night, I'm going to do, actually, it's Tuesday morning. I'm going to do a live video to tell you all about my first 3 parties so that you can see how my whole business got kickstarted and how today I still work off that repeat business. All right, so let's talk more about you and the time and why you're investing this time to be on with me right now, right? So now is the perfect time to build your own art entertainment business. I know we're at the beginning of the year, new things happen all the time, but you can kickstart your business. Paint party businesses, depending on where you're living in the country, are still just as busy in the winter. They're actually more busy in the winter. So January, February, March, if you live in like a traditional place where it's still cold, you're in the perfect time to start building your business. I'm going to tell you today why it's so easy and affordable to start your paint party business. And I'm also going to show you why this is a profitable business, and that you can easily create money using art, even if you're actually not that artsy. So stick along with me. I'm anticipating this call to be about 30, 45 minutes. I can check the chat to see if anyone is on there chatting. But for the most part, if you have any questions, just type them in the chat. You can also message us to the email that I sent you as well. All right, so chances are that you're on this call for one of 3 reasons, right? Like you've been thinking about doing a paint party business. Maybe you've had some curiosity about it, right? So you've thought about working a part-time job to bring in extra money to help your household income, but part-time jobs, have you seen what they pay, right? Yeah, I know what part-time work pays. Number 2, maybe you thought of some sort of side hustle, a work from home type of business, and you've been curious about this for some time, but the thought of being an entrepreneur could be scary, right? I know that too. The third reason you might be here is you're adventurous. You love to try new endeavors, but you're nervous about the 10 other things that you're juggling, and you're wondering if this is the right time to try something new. Yeah, I know you a little bit because I'm kind of like you, right? I wanted to try new things. I'm not an artist. I never started out this business as an artist. And when I was a stay-at-home mom, staying home with my 3 middle school boys, I know that the thought of even getting a part-time job was so out of the question, because it's like you would work for 15 hours a week, 15 to 20 hours a week, making minimum wage or whatever it was. It would just be very difficult. And plus all that time away from your family. So I get one of those 3 reasons. So what are the 3, which one do you relate to? Number 1, 2, or 3? You can type that along in the chat, or just, ask yourself why you're here. Well, this is my friend Mandy, my best friend Mandy, and she and I started this business back in, my sister-in-law and I started it back in 2011, and Mandy joined us shortly after in 2012. And we continued to build our business called Gallery on the Go, and Gallery on the Go is in over 20 states. We're in Canada, London, Japan. We've painted with hundreds of thousands of customers at this point. And our business plan actually won Business Plan of the Year in 2018 here in the state of Colorado. In 2018, we switched our business model from just doing Gallery on the Go to having what we call Artsy Association. And that's an association where we bring together all sorts of artsy entrepreneurs and we share resources and we share expertise, and we really help you fast track your business so that you're not learning all the ins and outs of the business by yourself. And we know the tried and true method to starting a paint party business. So we call ourselves the artsy coaches, and we also run our own artsy businesses as well. And so thanks for being here, but there's no pressure you to join. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about starting a paint party business. It's truly something that you can start on your own. At Artsy, we call ourselves the Artsy Coaches. We have a couple of others that are on the team with us. We have Dawn and Tammy that weren't in the previous picture as well. And we all kind of joined, Gallery on the Go back in the day. We were building this business up together, and we all had different emphasis. Like, did we want to work with kids? Dawn was doing art clubs in her home. Tammy actually has a studio in North Dakota, and Mandy and myself were just mobile here in Colorado. And so we have a whole vast of information that we like to share with all of our members and with you. And so at Artsy, we believe that if you can save some time, some money, some training, then you can have more fun in your business, and you can kind of really get to the parts that you love in your business. And Artsy can help fill in the gaps of the areas that you don't know. So sometimes we have a great business mind, not necessarily a great artsy mind, or like in my case today, clearly I have no techie mind. And, but we can fill in the gaps there through Artsy. So that's what our association is all about. And that's where I'm coming to you from. But for today, I'm just here to offer you some encouragement if you're thinking about starting this business. We have built a brand. You can go look at some of these websites, createintheclassroom.com and galleryonthego.com. Those are our two like signature businesses that we have. And then art bars or artsy pop-ups, what you call them now, are also something that we created through Artsy as well. So I know that you're here because you have a desire to create a life that you love. We all have creative businesses with their own identity and personality. And so the same goes with Artsy, right? Like my business looks different than Mandy's, and Mandy's business looks different than Dawn and Tammy's, and so on and so forth, because every business can take on its own identity and personality, and you get to be and serve the customers that you want to serve. You get to be in your community and bring art. And we believe that art is timeless and art is for everybody. So get ready to take some notes, because this is what you're going to learn now. Is you're going to see behind the scenes how easy it is to creatively make money by bringing an element of art to parties and events. This is a thriving industry. I've been doing this for 14 years, and I continue to see so many people grow in this industry. It's a thriving industry where you can build a successful business right from your home. You don't have to get a studio if you don't want one, and you can work around your schedule and your passions. And I'm going to show you later how paint parties are not just in the evening and not just on the weekends. Today, I'm going to specifically talk about painting parties, but I want you to remember that you can add any sort of elements. Like I talked about these artsy pop-ups and board parties and door hangers. I've seen this go all over the place in this industry. But I'll be talking a lot about paint parties today. All right. So insider secret number one that you need to remember about paint parties is the art industry, right? This is the whole industry out there. And this industry really introduced painting to the masses. I like to talk about Bob Ross a lot. Bob Ross introduced acrylic painting, and actually I think he did oil painting, but we all just watched him. We didn't actually like sit and paint with him most of the time. I don't know about you, but I never did. I never had the supplies to do that. Plus he paints in like half an hour. And I've painted along with a Bob Ross tutorial once, and it was like 3 hours long. But anyway, we, like all the paint and sip franchises that you see around, any paintpreneur around you, right? Gallery on the Go, we've been around for 14 years. Like we introduced our type of business model, introduced painting to the masses, because painting is a top growing hobby. And I bet if you think about yourself 10, 15 years ago, you never even heard of a painting party. My party on Friday with those women, none of them had been to a paint party before, none of them. And they're like everyday modern women. I was like, where have you been? So it's a growing and thriving industry. And you go beyond just like girls' night out and painting and sipping. You can go way beyond that. We work in at conferences, like I've showed you in my portfolio earlier. We work in hospitals. We do fundraisers. We have done so many types of events. There's a rise in creative franchises, right? Like, of course, you've probably seen like the Pinot's Palette or the Painting with a Twist. Like franchises, you have to have a certain amount of income, and then you're in a facility. And so with a mobile paint party business is what I'm encouraging you to start with, is there's no overhead. There's not a lot of risk with it going along with it like there is in a franchise. And then art is just timeless, right? Like think about yourself. Like you've been doing art since you were like in kindergarten, and now you're an adult. Maybe you don't do it as much, but you can do it. And it's for everyone, male, female, it's for everybody. And I always like to tell some of the stories before, like we've painted in a mobile home in the morning, doing a painting party where we were all crammed in a tiny little space. And then that later that afternoon, I would go do a party and the people had like a 9-car garage. It is crazy. My party on Friday was in a private gated community. Just everywhere, right? You can just go anywhere and everywhere because art is for everyone. And so we also just live in this time where people want to spend money on experiences. I don't know what your Christmas looked like, but my gifts to my kids were experiences. It was like, go get a massage, go to Putt Putt, go to this whiskey tasting thing. I have older kids now, that's why. But anyway, so we know we're all about more experiences than just material things. So this is the right industry. So if you're already thinking of that, I've already done some of the research for you. It is a good industry. The thing that you need to remember about yourself so that you can be proud of what you do and not feel like an imposter is we have what we call the artsy manifesto. And you just kind of repeat some of this stuff to yourself. We are fun art, not fine art. So you're not trying to be an imposter, trying to be an art teacher, trying to be something that you're not. We really are all about the event. We're about the experience. You can see here on the screen, it says, art has the power to multiply and expand into boundless creativity. We believe that canvas, paint, and brushes are best paired with cupcakes, chocolate, and cocktails. And that's our vibe. That's who we want to be, right? Now you can create your own manifesto and your own vibe. And we used to have a gallery guide who loved quiet music, like instrumental music. And she really was more about the peaceful kind of paint party. And you know what? She could do that. That was her vibe. And that was, the customer base she was going to serve. My party on Friday was crazy, right? Like it was, they had cocktails and mocktails and kids running all over the place, and it was loud and it was crazy. So it's really going to be who you want to serve. But it's not always about the art. It's more so about the party and gathering people together. And that's what we train around. Now, if you're super artsy and you have artistic skills, you can do this too. You're just going to have a different type of client base and people, how they get along in that 1 to 2 hours. Trying to learn something is going to be something you have to work on. All right, so take a look at that Artsy Manifesto. In fact, I put it in the email today. And for those of you who are joining, you got the email like 3 times. All right, so I have done the market research. We've done market research, and people like to try to be crafty and creative. They may not be happy sometimes in the moment. If they're not, they might get frustrated sometimes. But people really do want to get crafty and artsy. Everybody, no, but you're going to find your target market. And I tend to find that people are really excited to try something for the first time. So here we did some survey and some market research, and we found that like almost 88% of people want to try to be more crafty or more creative. All right, so market research. Is there anyone else that is doing what you are doing? Like if you're going to start your own business, my best advice to you is to do some market research. Who else is doing what you want to be doing, right? Go look at those storefronts, the Pinot's Palette, the boards and brushes, the Painting with the Twist. Go check out what they're doing. There's a great website called Social Artworking, which I'll talk about here in a minute. They also do like stencils and tracers and support people very similar to what we're doing as well. And then I want you to always speak highly of your competition. If you decide to do a paint party, speak highly of your competition. You want to progress the industry. The better the industry is doing, the better it is for all of us. And don't worry about competition, because painting parties are a consumable product. People paint once with you, they'll paint twice with you, 3 times with you. I have had multiple, in fact, most of my December parties were repeat people who were inviting me to come, right? So what you do when you do market research though is what do you like? What does this competitor of yours do that you like? And then what do they do differently? And then look at their branding, look at their identity, look at their customer base. Are you going to be similar? Are you going to be different? And really what's going to set you apart is what you need to figure out. Also, you can go look at industry associations like the Craft and Hobby Association, the Association for Creative Industries. So go check out. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, do it the right way. Go do some market research. All right. Insider secret number 2 about starting your own paint party business is it's not your average money. So remember when I said I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, I didn't really want to go make minimum wage at like my local Michael's or Hobby Lobby. I'd probably spend all my money there anyway. I'm in Colorado, and so our minimum wage is $14.42 an hour. I think that's going up here in a little bit, but working 15 hours a week to make that would be equivalent to like having a party, one paint party, if that. And one paint party takes you 2 to 4 hours. So if you're even considering going to get a part-time business, this is going to blow your socks off because it's not your average kind of money for a part-time side hustle. On the lower end, depending where you live, you can charge $25, $35 a person, right? So if you're just doing something around a kitchen table, you have 8 to 10 people in a household. Now I set minimums. I highly recommend you set minimums. I do not go to any party if I'm not making less than $300. And quite honestly, my average is actually $600. So on the higher end, if you're able to charge a little bit more, $35, $45, you can make upwards up to that $600. And again, setting those minimums. My minimum is 15 people now. My minimum, I do say is 300 at minimum if I'm doing 10 people. But for my repeat customers, all those people, like I can definitely charge and know what I'm worth and they know what they're getting. Kids events are great to start out with. The picture that you see here, this is a kids camp and there's like 80 children and that pays big time money in the summer. And so I'll tell you more about that. But a kid's average birthday party would be about $200. And again, that's like 3 hours. So again, one paint party a week saves you way more time than working a part-time job. So it's not your average money. So a couple questions that usually come up. Are paint parties always just at nights and weekends? No, they're not. You get to pick your clients. You decide when you want to work. You know, pre-COVID, I worked a lot in commercial buildings. And so they would hire me on a Wednesday morning from 10 to 12 a.m. or 10 to 12 doing an artsy pop-up. I would come set up in conference rooms and things like that. So you get to work where you want to work. You're going to target those customers based on the time that you want to work. The next thing is, do I have to be a salesy person? You don't. You know, sometimes our industry can be equated to like the direct sales business because we do in-home parties. But you don't have to sell anything. In fact, people have bought tickets before you even arrived. You should already know how much you're making before you even arrive. You're not trying to sell anybody anything other than to get that initial booking from your hostess. So yeah, you do want to get your name out there. You want to be really great at hostess coaching. If you're doing in-home parties or if you're working with an office, person, like an administrative assistant, you need to tell them why it's a great event for their, business or their friends. And the better the hostess, the better you hostess coach, the better, more turnout will come, right? So you want to hostess coach her so you know how many people are coming. And then what's the actual profit after expenses? You got to think on average, the cost of Canvas has gone up slightly. The cost of Canvas, credit card processing, hostess gifts, replacing some of your supplies, it's about $3 a person if you're keeping your supplies pretty minimal. And that's about a 90% profit rate. So that's a really great profit margin in this business. You get to reuse all your brushes, your palettes, all those different things. Really, your cost is the paint and those the canvases. All right, so I want you to just take a minute to think about this. How would your household change with an extra $500 to $1,000 a month? What does that do for your family? What is that paying for? We know inflation is a lot right now, right? How about $2,000 a month? What is the what would $2,000 a month do for your household? That's quite a bit, right? That's definitely house payment, car payments, groceries, all of those different things. So all of that is very possible with just 2 to 4 events a month. And so we can teach you how to do that. All right, so you can go see some artsy math. We've called it artsy math. It definitely needs to be updated more because we live in a state of inflation and our prices have definitely gone up as well. But you got to think to yourself, what is your true availability? Are you looking to be a hobby guide? Are you looking to do this just as a hobby every now and then? We have a lot of members who are retirees or on their way to becoming retirees. And this is really just a hobby to go out and meet more people. They don't necessarily have a lot of goals to make a certain minimum. They're really just out to meet more people and to do something because it's super fun. So you have what we call a hobby guide, or you have a part-time guide, right? Somebody who's really trying to make this part-time money, 3 to 6 events a month. And then somebody who wants to do this full time, you're looking at more than 6 events a month. You're looking at like 2 to 3 a week. Maybe you're thinking of turning your basement into a studio or your garage, or maybe you're thinking of renting a studio, right? Which is all possible. So being an entrepreneur can be scary. As you can see, there are a lot of things to think about, but that's what I do. I help coach. That's what our training program does, is helps coach you into building a business for yourself. And then being an entrepreneur, of course, you always have to think there's cost involved. You're driving your car now, insurance, but there's definitely tax advantages and tax deductions as well. All about that artsy math. All right, so let's get to insider secret number 3. It's not always about the art, but I'm going to guarantee that you're probably scared anyway, because one, speaking in front of people, not everyone's comfortable with. We can help you with that, getting confident in speaking. But painting in front of people, that's a whole nother level of scary, right? Because you're like, I'm not an artist anyway, so how do I do this? Well, we have step-by-step instructions for our artwork. The guy that you see on the screen here, he free-handed that. We're not going to be painting that kind of thing with our customers. There's also, if you're looking to just build this on your own, not necessarily using anything with Artsy, there's so many free acrylic painting channels out there. There's so many services out there. You can go buy their designs and learn step by step. You can use templates and tracers. I'm going to share with you more about that. And with us, of course, we tell you to practice before you go to the event. So none of our art is intended to be fine art. Remember, it's intended to be fun art. So we have step-by-step instructions. We have stencils. We have lots of tips and tricks. And mostly what you really need to care about is that you're fun, that you're great at customer service, and that you're a fun person. Like I was struggling to get on the tech today, right? And like, oh my gosh, like you start freaking out about that, but you need to be able to roll with the punches. You need to be able to roll with like a spilled glass of wine, and maintain your cool, and also keep people on track to have a good time. And so it's more logistical. It's more about event planning than it is necessarily just focusing in on the painting. But I do get it. You get a little insecure about painting, but I promise we try to help you overcome some of those fears. So if you go to our website, galleryonthego.com, it's one of the brands under the Artsy name. You can go look at that. You can see the different artwork that we have featured right now. We'll be updating it here soon because it still shows our holiday collections. We also recommend our guides go become members, or you can actually just go buy social artworking designs and templates. And those ones all come with like tracers. And so you can do that as well. But there's so many other companies out there where you can buy their designs. And so it's really great. You always have trendy new things to be able to have. For these are kind of some old slides that you see here, but those are really great designs. So you're never at a loss for paint parties. I'm sorry, for paint designs. Gallery on the Go, our collection, we have like 500 paintings. It's crazy. All right. And this is just showing you how the packs come with stencils for social artworking. I also talked about beyond painting. I like to do artsy pop-ups. These are a couple of examples of that. This is where you take mini projects, mini wood coasters. You're doing this one here has some jewelry and some posters and things like that. So projects that can be made in like 20 to 30 minutes. These are really great for like happy hours or like where you're part of an event, but you're not the entire event. And kind of like that pop-up I showed you at the beginning with the Grinch. They make little make and takes kind of in like 15 to 20 minutes. So they're in and they're out, and you can serve more people at one time. And your cost just varies depending on the products that you're bringing. The other way that you can do parties are, I love to show these Bob Ross kids because themed parties are super fun. But we do signs, you can do the board parties, you can do craft clubs, customers that come every single month and make different projects. That creates a repeat business, that creates loyalty, creates friend groups, all those good things as well. Also, if you're into working with kids, the kid industry, of course, is huge. Parents, especially parents nowadays, want to get their kids off of tech. They want to, they're more willing to pay for the kids to do paint parties than they are necessarily themselves. So this is an example here of a kid camp I ran over 3 consecutive weeks where the kids came every single week at the same time. And we made 3 projects in half of a morning. So you can also charge more for kids camps. So you're talking over winter break, over spring break, over those holidays like Martin Luther King or President's Day, you can do camps, and it keeps the kids busy while they're out of school, and parents love it because it's somewhat of art enrichment as well. Here's some more pictures from my kids' camp. This was at a coffee house. And so we just met from the morning. We would meet in the morning from like 10 to 12 or 10 to 1. And I would include a snack and 3 projects around a certain theme. There they are. All right. So what kind of events would you want to have? I've just shared with you how you could work with companies. You can work doing artsy pop-ups. You can do camps. You can do something in your basement, like with a women's craft club, just like Dawn does. Or maybe you want to work with the summer camp at school and work with 80 children at one time. So think about that when you're thinking about what kind of paint party business do you want to serve. I know you start out and you're like, I want to just paint with everyone. Well, is that true? I mean, I paint inside of bars and I've painted inside of hospitals, and I have a preference of where to work. I like to work where I get paid one time, one big check from a customer, rather than little payments from everybody else. So you get to decide who you want to serve. Some of our guides only work with children. They love doing kids camps, right? And so everybody has a different client base. So that's what you need to start thinking about. You're like, who would I serve? Am I going to be serving women and children? Am I going to be serving companies and men and just older people? We have some people who work in senior centers and senior facilities. So it's the sky's the limit. You get to pick, and you're going to start thinking about who is your ideal customer profile. All right, insider tip number 4 are the supplies that you'll need. The supplies that you'll need are going to be aprons, easels, palettes, cups, brushes. We recommend a 5-piece brush set that I'll tell you more about here in a second. You're going to need canvas boards or canvas panels, acrylic paint, and paper towels. Like, that's the easiest basic setup. You can see it here on my screen. I like to use real palettes. Some people like to use paper plates. We wrap our palettes in press and seal, and it saves you from washing them. This 5 brush setup here, this is something that is original to us. We created this system where you have colored tips on your paint brushes, and those colored tips are so that when the brushes are in the water, you can easily tell your customer, hey, we're using the red brush, we're using the purple brush, and they're just of different sizes and widths. And I always recommend plastic brushes. So yeah, you don't want to buy wood brushes. They'll go bad real fast. But this is for your traditional paint party setup. Super easy. Are you going to start out with a setup of 10 painters? You're going to start with 15 or 20. Some of our guides would start with 10, and then every time they had a party, they would buy another setup. You can do things like that to keep adding to your collection. I paint at that 120 person event. I have 120 aprons. I don't have 120 easels because we don't paint on easels at that event. But I have about 30 easels that I have with me, and I have about 60 palettes and cups. I do not like to use disposable. I reuse things and try to stay away from the single-use plastic type things. So those are the supplies you're going to need. At Artsy, we do have a supply shopping list that we provide for all of our members with some different discounts and availability of where you can find those things that you need for your paint party business. All right, so then think about that for yourself. Like, who's going to be your supplier? Where are you going to buy supplies, right? You can easily go to Michael's and Hobby Lobby and Walmart even sell stuff. The dollar store sells stuff. I don't think it's very great quality necessarily, but you want to do some initial research on your supplies and your supply costs. And if you're going to be mobile, one of the most important things you need to think about is like, how are you going to carry everything around? Like, are you going to use totes? Are you going to use bins? How are you going to bring those dirty paintbrushes back home? So you need to think about all of those different things as being a mobile paint party business owner. The insider tip number 5 to kickstart your paint party business in the next year is you need to build a brand. Yeah, you need to, it can be you. It actually should be you. It should be your face. What's your company name going to be? What are your logo brand and colors going to be? Are you going to have a website? Are you going to have social media? You got to think of some initial photographs and pictures, right? You need to tell people what you're going to do, and showing pictures is a great way. Videos, short videos are really important. Are you going to do email marketing? Anything like that, you need to think about building your own brand. So Gallery on the Go, all of our members are actually able to use the Gallery on the Go name and brand. And so if your name is like, my name's Maria, so it could be like Maria, Maria Gallery on the Go with Maria. And, or you can come up with your own name, right? Like I actually use Artsy with Maria is my business name. And so you can go find me on Instagram, but you can come up with any name that you want. The perk of using Gallery on the Go is we have a Gallery on the Go website. And so you can also use that website for your clients to look more legit. You can also use the branding that we have on a lot of our materials. If you decide to be part of the association, you could do that as well. But not all of our members do that. So what brand is important for you to make, right? So here's just a couple snapshots of our social media, and like you need to get our industry is very visual. So if you just go walk up to some average Joe and you're like, hey, I do painting parties, they're gonna think you paint on walls, right? So you need to have pictures on your phone, or you need to have social media, you need to have something visual for people to say, I want to do that, right? Here's just an example. When you're a member of the association, we create a lot of images to share with our members. And so we share Instagram and Facebook posts, timeline covers, all of those different things that they can easily customize. They can add their own graphic for their own logo, or they can just use what we provided. All right. So the reason building a brand is so important is I want you to think about your favorite brand. What is one of your favorite brands, and why? Why are they your favorite brand? And so if you think of popular brands, maybe like Nike or, Pepsi or Coke, or I don't know if those are your favorite brands. One of my favorite brands is like Kendra Scott. I like Kendra Scott jewelry, or I like Magnolia, with Joanna Gaines. When you like a brand, go look at their website. What does that brand convey, right? And what do they convey through photography? What do they convey through their social media? Well, are you getting their emails, right? Oh my gosh, during Christmas, I got a billion emails from all the brands I like, right? And so, I may not read them all, but I still like that brand, right? And so you need to think of yourself. If you're going to take yourself seriously, even if you're a part-time paint party person, you need to still care about your brand, and you need to care about your image and what you're portraying, right? I do take a lot of pictures of myself because I'm going into a stranger's home when I'm doing paint parties, or I'm going into a professional setting. And so when they're hiring me, I think they want to know that I'm fun, right? And I look fun in my branding. Like, you should have hopefully saw that even in the email marketing that went out today, right? That this is a fun business. So think to yourself, where do you need most help with? Do you need help to develop a logo? Is it hard to start social media? Is it hard to get some photography or email marketing set up? Like, you're going to need some support in those areas. You may be great at all of them. That's fantastic. But it can overwhelm us to think of all the things we need to get started. And that's why we have the Artsy Association to support each other in some of those things. But you can do it. Like, I started this business 14 years ago. I started with absolutely no support, no experience out there in the world other than doing exactly what I've just taught you. I went to a paint and sip place. I went to look to see how they did it. And if you want help to, create a life you love, just keep following me on YouTube, because now I'm committed. Even though I can't figure out these live streams, I'm gonna figure it out. And I will persist so that you can continue to learn from my expertise. Now, we have done training through the association that we know you can launch your business within 30 days or less. Yes, you absolutely can start a paint party business already in January. You can have your first party. Like, the way supplies are nowadays, you can easily order things on Amazon. There's no reason why you couldn't start and launch your own art paint party business here coming up in January. You can do it. I believe in you. All right. But I know what's really holding you back, because I'm an entrepreneur and I know what this lifestyle is. Being an entrepreneur can be scary. It's a lot of things to do. It's a lot of time. And then the big question is, what if I fail, right? Fear is real. We know that. But without a doubt, you, just like I knew, you were created to make an impact and to do something creative. Like, you love doing creative things already. Now is a way for you to turn this into making money. And you might be nervous to try it again, because chances are you've tried some other things before, right? You've been here before. It's always exciting at first, but you're wondering if it's truly hard to set up this type of business and maybe to follow through with it. Absolutely. Everyone needs a little bit of accountability. Everyone needs some more coaching along the way. When you hit a road bump, you want to figure a way out of that, especially when you're starting something new, just like me in this YouTube video, right? And so us and the Artsy coaches and hundreds of people around the world have been doing painting parties. We've been exactly where you are, having that very first paint party, wondering if this is the right thing we're supposed to do. We've had those parties where a painting maybe doesn't go the way we want it to go. And so we've been there before. And so that's the best thing to do, is tag along with someone who's done what you're looking to do, learn from them, and save yourself a few headaches along the way. We have trained, like I said, hundreds of people. These are not real pins all over the world. I just like to show you we're all over the United States. People are doing paint parties all over the United States, and are part of Artsy, also all over the globe. We have members all over as well. So, like I said, if you go to artsyassociation.com, maybe I haven't told you that yet, you can kind of go see some of the different resources that we have. But yeah, we're helping people with their event pricing and resources. We have photos, we have libraries of designs, we have flyers, everything to help you kickstart your business really quickly. We do believe that you can launch your business in 30 days or less. Like, whether you use Artsy materials, whether you're just using your common knowledge that you have, maybe you've already been doing research, you absolutely can. We like to give you a fun certification, like, especially if you're repping Gallery on the Go. We hope that you're doing our training and our resources, because we want you to be a confident person when you're going out representing our brand. And so we call this fun certification, and you achieve fun certification after you've done some of our training. So we have a 9-module course if you're ever interested in learning how to kickstart your business. We have what we call a marketing head start. This helps you, like, in the first 3 days of starting, like, you just simply start, or I'm sorry, 3 steps to kickstarting your marketing, to help you preload your Instagram and things like that, to start finding customers. So we can help you totally get started within 30 days. If you wanted to join the membership, it is a one-time annual fee of $297. We don't have all these little bitty prices here and there for different things. We don't know what you're doing. We never check your revenue. There's no sales contest, no sales quotas, no sales minimums. You're just part of an association. It's really a place where we find support for one another. We're working together. We're not competing against each other. You do sign policies and procedures, especially if you're representing Gallery on the Go. This is like just for code of conduct and behavior. And of course, if you decide to leave the association at any time, you can re-enroll again at any time. So it's really a peace of mind agreement. It's the way that I would want to sign up for something, and I don't like to sign up for things where I'm constantly having to pay for different things. And a great example of not having to pay for something coming up is, and by the way, not even our members know this theme yet, but every January, on January 31st, is actually a national, like, set apart day, and it's called Inspire Your Heart with Art Day. And so we've kind of adopted that day, and we have a workshop every year now for the past 3 or 4 years. We've had Inspire Your Heart with Art, and it's a place where we ask all of our members to come and just they get to be the student, they get to create. And it's not always art that they're going to go necessarily do with their customers, but it's just art to get creative and crafty themselves. It's just a way for them to play with new materials. We're going to just work in one workbook. This year, our theme is where art meets story. It's super fun. We already have some of the projects lined up. You guys are the first to hear about it, those of you who are on right now. But it is Friday, January 31st. We do 2 sessions in the evening on Friday, and then Saturday morning, we just wake right back up with all of our paint stuff all over. And we do 4 more sessions. And so it's live online, not live in person. I should specify that. And we haven't even done the pre-sale yet, so just watch out for your email there. And it's live workshops with all of us instructing a session, and then I have some special guest instructors as well. So it's super fun. I can't wait to start to promo that for you guys. But hey, I'm not here to, I would love for you to join the association at any time, of course. But we are really just starting this YouTube channel to inform people how they should be starting their own paint party business, how they should and could do that. And so my next tutorial is actually going to be on Tuesday, December 31st. If you're watching the recorded version, just go flip over to the recorded one. It's going to be at 11 a.m. In the morning, because it is New Year's Eve. And I'm going to tell you all about my first 3 paint parties and how they helped me launch my business. And so, yeah, I can't wait to hopefully get to meet you and see you. I thought this YouTube Live would go a little bit differently for me to be able to see, who might be on there chatting, and I can't see anyone or anything. So I guess this is how it goes. And so, but Tuesday, I'm going to have this figured out. I'm going to get some tech support and get this live link working over there. So I will talk to you soon. Have a great day, and I hope you can create something beautiful. I believe in you. I know that you can do a paint party business. And for whatever reason, I just hope that your heart's desire gets that. And so I'm here for you, cheering you on. Talk to you soon. Bye.